Hello everyone and welcome to my channel CommerceNet Scholars. In today's video, the topic that we'll be discussing is the cardinal utility theory in consumer behavior. As we have discussed in the previous video, when we talk about the theory of consumer behavior, we have two approaches, cardinal approach and ordinal approach. Cardinal approach says that consumer behavior or consumer satisfaction can be measured in numeric terms, while ordinal approach focuses upon ranking the preferences of the consumers. So in today's video, we'll be discussing the cardinal utility in detail. So let's begin the topic. What consumer behavior is, let's quickly revise. Consumer behavior refers to the decision-making process and actions of individuals regarding the purchase and use of goods and services. It involves understanding how consumers allocate their income to maximize satisfaction. As I've discussed previously, that consumer behavior is simply how a consumer is behaving towards a particular product or service to maximize his or her satisfaction with those products. Now, what is cardinal utility? Cardinal utility approach assumes that utility or satisfaction can be measured in numerical terms. Simple words we need to understand. Whenever we are talking about cardinal utility, we are simply focusing upon the fact that our satisfaction can be expressed in numeric terms, or we can say our satisfaction can be quantified in numbers. That means you are easily able to tell whether you've consumed 1 unit, you've consumed 2 units, 5 units, 10 units, and so on. Now, what are the key assumptions? Utility is measurable and quantifiable, which is the utils of the commodity. Marginal utility of money remains constant. According to this cardinal approach, the marginal utility of money is remaining constant. That means whatever additional rupee we are spending is remaining constant over a period of time for the additional commodity that we are consuming. Next is rational consumer behavior. That means the consumers are non-biased. And utilities are additive. That means the satisfaction, every additional satisfaction is assuming some or the other value. Whatever utility, whatever satisfaction you're getting from a product is adding some or the other value. Next, we have the law of diminishing marginal utility, which is a very important concept of the cardinal utility approach. When we talk about cardinal utility, we have to focus on merely two things, that is the total utility and the marginal utility. Total utility is simply the number of units that we are consuming for each product. When we talk about marginal utility simply means that whatever additional satisfaction that we are getting from the consumption of every additional product, that is your marginal utility. And this particular marginal utility is giving you the concept of law of diminishing marginal utility, which states that as we consume more of a commodity, we are getting less satisfaction from every additional unit. For example, if we take the examples of Apple, and uh, we have consumed around 10 utils. For the second apple, we have consumed 8 utils, and for the third apple, we have consumed 5 utils. Now, these utils are depicting the satisfaction that you are getting. If you are hungry enough, you haven't eaten anything, first apple might give you a very high level of satisfaction. Second apple will also provide you the satisfaction of a good level. But as you move to the third or the fourth or the fifth unit, depending upon your consumption pattern, the utility would be decreasing. Understanding the graph of the diminishing marginal utility, it is a downward sloping graph, and it simply states that the marginal utility can be zero and negative as well, because if we are hungry, we are consuming more and more of the commodities. There will be a point wherein we don't want to consume any additional unit, and after that, if we consume, it will have a negative repercussion on our health or even on our likings and preferences. We wouldn't want to consume that commodity ever in near future. So diminishing marginal utility is simply a downward sloping curve that depicts a decrease in the utility that you are deriving, a zero marginal utility, and a negative marginal utility. Talking about the limitations and conclusions of the cardinal approach, the limitations say that utility is subjective and difficult to measure. And the second is limitation is assumes constant marginal utility of money. So the first limitation says that utility is subjective and difficult to measure. This is one constraint, because many a times you just cannot quantify what you're consuming. You are ranking them also, wherein the ordinal approach comes into play. So this is one drawback of cardinal approach, that it says that utility can always be measured in numbers. And the second limitation says that it is assuming the constant marginal utility of money, that every additional unit of rupee that we are spending is constant over all the additional units of the commodity. In the conclusion, we have a very important point, that is the cardinal utility theory provides a basic foundation in understanding choices, but has been largely replaced by the ordinal utility approach, which simply means that consumers' satisfaction or his utility is not only in terms of quantities, but also in terms of the qualitative nature or the ranking order wherein the consumer is deriving maximum satisfaction. So if there are any doubts, you can mention down in the comment section below. Till then, stay connected with us. Please do like, share and subscribe my channel. That's all for today. Thank you.